Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. Right now the time is approximately 8:27 p.m. Eastern Time, and the date is Monday, June 1st, 2020. We're doing something a little bit different. I'm showing this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful layout cloth. I will have the description, I will have the Etsy shop from which I purchased in the description box. And I am pulling cards for the June 2020 Tarot or Oracle card pull from the Many Moons 2020 Lunar Planner. So I'm going to read the suggested spread, and it's a 4-card spread. It is a current struggle I'm having, a message from my subconscious about why, a way to break free, and a message from my future self. So it's a 4-card spread. First card, a current struggle that I'm having. Second card, a message from my subconscious about why, meaning why I'm currently experiencing this struggle. Third card, a way to break free. And fourth card, a message from my future self. So I was divinely guided to use the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck created by John Holland. This is a cover of the guidebook, which is also a cover of the box, which had to be retired because yet another box that I had that contained a deck that, I can only use so much adhesive tape before it's like, Robert, let the box go. And illustrated by John Matson. So, with every video that I do, especially for those of you who are new to my channel, my YouTube channel, every video that I do where I cast the cards, I always say a general prayer. And even though I'm primarily casting the cards for myself, I am cognizant of the fact that this could resonate with many of you, several of you, even one of you watching in YouTube land. So, I'm going to shuffle the deck. And as I shuffle the deck, I'm going to call upon the powers of the goddesses, call upon the powers of the gods, call upon the powers of the ascended masters, call upon the powers of the archangels, call upon the powers of the angels, call upon the powers of the saints, call upon the powers of the sacred fae, call upon the powers of the ancestors, call upon the powers of all of our ancestors, call upon the powers of the elementals, and call upon the powers of the universe to come down and be with us for the casting of these cards right now. Okay. So clearly, and I'm being told 2 final message cards. I hope they caught that on camera where they saw me like pulling the cards as they came out. They did. Okay, good. Okay. So, card number 1, a current struggle. The sacral chakra. The sacral chakra represents a lot of different things. It represents sexual energy. It represents creativity, especially creativity that is physically oriented or mundane world influenced or mundane world inspired. And there is Bast. You will see several cats coming in and out of my videos, and clearly Bast has decided to make an appearance. The sacral chakra also represents appetites. Appetites for food, money, sex, companionship, physical comforts, emotional healing. The sacral chakra is also appropriately located in the area of the genitalia, so it also represents fertility and creation. So the current struggle has to do with keeping all of our desires and needs and appetites in balance and check. I've often said that for a variety of reasons and for a variety of circumstances, I can take sex or I can leave it. I'm a Capricorn, which is the sign of the horny goat, and I'm Cuban. And I'm also 50 years of age. And the fact of the matter is that sometimes my libido is really high, And sometimes all I want to do is masturbate and enjoy my VIP membership in the Plenty O Porn Club. Plenty O Porn. Capital O apostrophe porn. But you know, there are times when it's like lounging in my beautiful bed with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and a cozy mystery, and I'm good. So the current struggle has to do with balancing the desires, the needs, and the appetites. And not always the quote-unquote nice appetites. You know, the appetites for vengeance, the appetites for revenge, the appetites, hello boss, you're so cute. I love that you're expressing an interest in the metaphysical, magical, and mystical. I knew you would, and your tail is still sticky. Oh dear. Okay. So this is also about balancing all of our desires, all of our needs, all of our appetites. That is the current struggle. Card number 2. Card number 1 is a current struggle I'm having. So the current struggle that we are experiencing is the sacral chakra, is the need to, the balancing of the desires, the needs, the appetites. A message from the subconscious, from our subconscious minds about why we are experiencing this struggle. Awareness. One of my personal favorite tarot decks are the ones that have the cards usually renamed. And the awareness card is more traditionally known as the magician. So the message from our subconscious mind, or rather from the subconscious mind of the collective, and the collective I'm saying is all of us right now that are watching this video, that are experiencing this video, is to remember our magic, to remember our magical powers, to remember our mystical energies, to remember the energy that we have, or the body of energies that we have to create and manifest change. So the balancing of the need and the desire to balance and maintain our desires, needs, and appetites is because we're being reminded on a physical level, because remember, the sacral chakra is one of the 3 chakras below the heart chakra, is that it is a reminder that we must remember our magic and to use our magic in the physical realms to create and manifest change. A way to break free. Card number 3. Oh, that rhymes. Authority. The Emperor is the more common name of this tarot card. And it's so funny because, you know, remember, we are in an Emperor year. And I remember several years ago when I participated in my personal psychic advisor, Roger Pratt's Tarot 123 course, I learned that one of the traditional meanings of the tarot, of the Emperor card, is politics, government issues, people of authority, especially people of authority in political and governmental positions of power. And we are in an Emperor year. And I think that as we are now in the latter half of 2020, the year of a solid, balanced foundation, we have become painfully aware of the imbalances in our lives, in our worlds, in our communities. Card number 4, a message from my future self. So let's say I'm going to go with my personal guideline. I never feel comfortable making predictions more than 1 to 2 years from the time of the reading. However, I'm going to say, just in the interests of stepping outside of my comfort zone and branching things out a little bit, that this future self is our future self from between the years 2022 and 2025. Am I saying that correctly? Yes. 2 to 5 years from now. So 2022 through 2025. 2 to 5 years from now. Yes, I think I'm saying that correctly. So this is a message from our future selves, the ones who live or who are alive and breathing between 2022 and 2025. Sacrifice. This is not the first tarot deck where the Hanged Man card is subtitled or renamed Sacrifice. And the very first tarot deck that I ever encountered that listed that card as Sacrifice is the Goddess Tarot by Chris Walter. And every major arcana card of that tarot deck depicted a goddess. And on the card that's more commonly known as the Hanged Man, but in the Goddess Tarot, it depicted Guanxi. Guanxi is probably China's most beloved of goddesses. She is the Chinese goddess of mercy, compassion, and forgiveness. And one of the translations of her name is she who hears the cries of the world. And given what's been happening recently, and especially this past weekend, Guanxi is a very, very, very much needed goddess right now. So, there are sacrifices that need to be made. What do you need to sacrifice? And I'm going to ask you to be brutally and painfully honest with yourself. I know that one thing that I must sacrifice is my inclination to become anxious about things that are not within my control. And I truly believe that once I do that, I will have achieved a level of peace that I don't think I have ever experienced in my physical incarnation. And given that this is representing a message from my future self in this example, that's something very much to look forward to. And I'm very happy to know that I'm going to be alive between 2022 and 2025. Now, for you, and I'm going to get a little political, and I apologize in advance, but then again, one thing that I learned from reading the companion book to the Herb Crafter's Tarot, co-created by Letitia Guthrie and Joanna Powell Colbert, and illustrated by Joanna Powell Colbert, is that the personal is political. So if you are a white person, maybe one thing you need to sacrifice is white privilege, or any belief that you are not racist or bigoted or prejudiced. Maybe there's a part of you that is. You know, it just so happens that my awesome audiovisual person from my YouTube videos happens to be a light-skinned Puerto Rican man. He was born in this country, but his mother and father were born in Puerto Rico. But again, Puerto Rico is the United States Commonwealth, so anybody born in Puerto Rico is still considered a United States citizen or an American citizen. My awesome audiovisual person from my YouTube videos is a light-skinned Puerto Rican man. And most people don't even think of him as Puerto Rican until he mentions that he is Puerto Rican. And he mentioned that sometimes people are friendlier towards him and sometimes they're not. That's called prejudice. That's called racism. That's called bigotry. And that's called colorism. Because so many people believe that people that are Latin American are just one shade. And no. People that are Latin American go from the whitest white to the darkest black. I often say that sometimes people are so black that they need another syllable. Like my late maternal grandmother's maternal grandmother was black. She was not black. She was so dark you had to add another syllable. She was black. And make no mistake, she was black. I never saw a photograph of her. I did not have that honor and privilege in this lifetime. But from what I understood, she was blacker than dirt. blacker than the darkest soil on planet Earth. That means she was black. But anybody who's of Cuban descent, Puerto Rican descent, Dominican descent, you know, you can go from very light to very black. I actually met somebody that I still refer to as the whitest Dominican man I ever met, because I never knew that Dominicans become as light-skinned as him. So, what else do you need to sacrifice to be happy and peaceful and prosperous and free? The final message cards are the third eye chakra and deception and envy. And it has been a while since I've used this deck, but I want to say that the more common name for this card is Seven of Swords. So I'm going to do something I almost never do, and that is take a sneak peek. So in this tarot deck, the mental is an indigo border. The major arcana is black. So, oh, there's a typo with the word physical. I never noticed that before. Oh, no, it's not a typo. Hold on. Okay. So I'm going to say that this is an indigo border. So it refers to the mental realm. So it is the Swords card. So deception and envy is more commonly known as Seven of Swords. So these are the two final message cards. So third eye chakra, which is also known as the brow chakra, is another indication of using your magic. Because I tend to, and it's no coincidence the third eye chakra landed directly underneath the awareness card. And notice the area, I think I can do a close-up. Okay, notice this glowing light is right on top of the third chakra, the crown chakra, but it's almost as if it's between the brow chakra and the crown chakra, like it's right here. So I'm going to say, remember to use your powers of visualization. Those of us that are witches, we know that when a witch is born, they're born with 13 powers, and one of them is visualization. Now I know that some of you may have difficulty visualizing. I think now more than ever, it is imperative that you go past those setbacks and difficulties and really use your powers of visualization. And one of the easiest ways of developing one's powers of intuition is to look at something, like literally stare at it. Like, for example, notice the crescent moon on my witch's brew mug. Okay. I'm working with my awesome audiovisual person on this. So if you were to stare at that for at least, let's say, 10 seconds, and then maybe push us up a little bit further and stare at that for 20 seconds, and then see if you can stare at that for a grand total of 60 seconds, and then close your eyes and begin to copy that image onto the screen of your mind. And do it to the best of your ability. And, remember that certain skills are developed over time. So it's not as if you can be expected or even required to master a certain skill overnight. If it happens, good for you. Great for you. But if it doesn't, that just gives you an opportunity to develop something. So if you were to, let's say, do an experiment where you paused the video and you looked at this crescent moon for 10 seconds. And maybe if you want to do this over a period of days or weeks, where you increase it by, let's say, 10 seconds every day. So let's say that you start today, even though it's not going to be, or the first day that you watch this video, the day that it becomes live, it's published. So look at this for 10 seconds, and then close your eyes and see if you can recreate it in the screen of your mind. And if not, then the next day do 20 seconds. And if not, after 20 seconds, and the next day do 30 seconds. However long it takes for you to fully, successfully recreate this on the screen of your mind. And then go from there. And then, once you master that, as I'm going to take a sip of my beautiful coffee, courtesy of La Casa de Roberto, formerly Sheikh Obeah. Oh, so good. Then it's like, okay. Then it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then deception and envy. You know, one of the traditional meanings of the Seven of Swords is theft. So, do you feel like somebody took something from you? Is that why there is this imbalance in your life? Is that why you feel like somebody took something from you? And maybe you were a victim of literal theft. Maybe somebody literally stole something from you. Could have been a tarot deck, could have been a piece of jewelry, could have been something else, could have been an opportunity that was presented to you in your work life or in your professional life or even in your personal life. You know, how many people have never spoken to each other because somebody married the other person as opposed to them? But I'm going to say with these two cards, begin to visualize what you want to see in your world and take it further a little bit more each day. I cannot deny that today I have become more so painfully aware of what's been happening in the world. And I have said for years that people that are members of the LGBTQIA+ community, and I happen to be one of them, there are people that have no problem killing us and need no excuse. COVID-19 is a convenient excuse for people to engage in racial and bias crime. It is just one of a string of excuses, a constant, ever-increasing stream of excuses. There are always going to be excuses. Anybody who is a racist, who is a bigot, who is prejudiced, anybody who is a colorist, anybody who is a white supremacist, they never need a reason or an excuse. I am massively divinely protected, but that doesn't mean that somebody won't come along and shoot me point blank in the head. That doesn't mean, just because I am meant to walk this earth for a little bit longer, that doesn't mean that somebody who did not get that memo is going to be some idiot carrying an automatic weapon and look at me and say, fag, fucking homo, Cuban spick, refugee, and shoot me fucking dead. It could happen, regardless of how massively divinely protected I am. I don't dwell on that, but I'm realistic. And I don't need to read a newspaper, I don't need to visit Twitter. I know that there's shit going on this planet, and there's shit going on in this country. And I am crystal clear that I am very blessed, and I am very fortunate that somebody didn't shoot me dead sooner. And I have lost count of how many times I have almost died. In fact, it's a little ridiculous how many times I've almost died in this lifetime. I mean, I'm only 50, and I can count off the top of my head of at least 7 different occasions where I almost died. Where were it not for something or someone, or even groups of someones, I wouldn't be here. So I am crystal clear that I am very, very massively divinely protected, and I am beloved by the goddess. And if I was not, believe me, I wouldn't be here. And if she felt that I had no more business being here, believe me, I would not be doing this video right now, because I wouldn't be in a physical body right now. My body would be someplace else. Actually, my body would be very much decomposed at this point. Anyway, YouTube, thank you for honoring who I am and what I do. Thank you for honoring the psychic I am, the witch I am, the Robert Alvarez I am, the gay man that I am, the person of color I am, the person of African descent that I am, the Cuban that I am, the American that I am, the American of Cuban descent that I am, the mystic that I am, the lover of men who I am, the lover of cultural events that I am, the lover of coffee and tea and wine, not necessarily all at the same time that I am, the lover of cats, coffee, and hairy men, and not all at the same time, the lover that I am of thrillers and cozy mysteries and books on the magical and the metaphysical and the mystical and the spiritual that I am, the lover of electronics and beautiful pieces of jewelry that I am, the lover of all things that are sacred to me that I am, the lover of cookies and cream that I am, the lover of, of cheesecake that I am, the lover of Krispy Kreme donuts that I am, the lover of all the things that I am. I wish all of you many mountains of blessings, of peace and health and plenty, of joy, of clarity and illumination, of protection, of wholeness and of healing. And good night.